This is the Jefferson Township Board of Trustees regular meeting via Zoom. It's Tuesday, March the 2nd, 2021. The time is 7:16 p.m. We're getting a late start due to technical issues on getting logged in. At this point, I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting. We have present myself, James McGuire. We have the host, which is Steve Wolf tonight, Doug Wright, Andy Flagg, Greg Wilcox, Trustee McLaughlin, Trustee Mann, and Tracy Edwards, Fiscal Officer. This time, let's have Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's go ahead and have a moment of silence to honor our military, firefighters, road workers, and sheriff deputies as they serve our community here and abroad. Roll call, Ms. Edwards.
Trustee McGuire.
Present.
Trustee Mann. Trustee McLaughlin.
Present.
Okay, next on the agenda, at this point in time, we do not have any minutes to approve, prior meeting minutes to approve. Fiscal Officer's report. Ms. Edwards, you have the floor. Once again, Fiscal's Officer's report. Ms. Edwards, do you have a report this evening?
Okay. I have no report this evening other than I'd like to discuss the bills are in the mailbox. They have been signed by Trustee McLaughlin. They need another trustee signature so I can get them out in the mail. Some of them are already late because they came to me late. There's still some issues with me getting W-9 forms for new vendors. If you don't know if they're new vendors, and you don't have any idea, you need to ask me or get a W-9 because I cannot pay the bill until I have a W-9 form or a tax ID number. Sometimes the vendors put their tax ID number on their invoices. So when you get a new vendor, check for that. That should be the first thing you send with the bill. So there's still a few bills out that's been out since January. And the budget is a big issue right now because there's been some problems with line items being given to me and there's no funds available. So we definitely need to work the issue with the budget. And if we got a schedule for the next meeting, that's fine. It's due April 1st to the county. Every year, that's the same date. So we must get on that as soon as possible. Right now, there's nothing else I can think of because my mind is set on the budget. If you need a copy of the financials, I can send out, I can send you guys a copy of it, but it's not going to be any use to you until we get a permanent budget. That's all I have.
Okay, trustees, would one of you like to make a motion to pay the bills, invoices, appropriations, and warrants?
I'll make a motion that we pay all the bills, the warrants, and accept the fiscal office report.
Okay, I'll second that motion. Roll call, please.
Trustee McLaughlin,
Yes.
trustee McGuire,
Yes.
trustee Mann.
Yes.
Okay. Old business. Trustees, a couple of meetings back, we discussed revisions to the handbook. As you're aware, there was a scratch in a line item for Alexipol, who was working on our handbook. Our attorneys, Sturdick, Dowd, and Turner, have given us a proposal to update the handbook. It's going to give us a new handbook within about 60 days. And the only variable on that's going to be how far we want the new handbook to get into some of the SOG stuff for fire. If we stick with a version of the handbook, like just basically our basic handbook for new hires and everybody, that should bring in the cost at the low end. But to Mr. McLaughlin's point of having too much legal expenses, having an updated handbook is going to protect us from litigation and also eliminate the need to check with counsel on legal matters. We are not required by law to put this out for competitive bids. I did, however, because this has been an issue for Mr. McLaughlin, reach out to Paycor, and they did not get back with me. I also reached out to Nathaniel Peterson, and he respectfully declined taking on that task. So in the resolutions tonight, there is a resolution to vote out regarding getting an updated handbook written by Sturdick Dowd.
So did they give you a call?
Who?
Sturdick Dowd, you said there was a resolution. Have they given you a call?
Behind the resolution, there's a copy of their proposal to do this.
I don't have that in my background.
It was pushed out with Adrian's email with the agenda. It's in there.
It says $3,000 to $5,000 they don't have. They just got an estimate, right?
Correct.
Okay. Not really, it doesn't really give details. That's why I was asking what.
Trustees, any question or comments on that issue?
Yeah, so what don't we like about the existing employee handbook?
It's over 10 years old, and we're too reliant on legal counsel to navigate the various employee issues that we're dealing with.
The employee issues we have are due to leadership, not the employee handbook.
That may be your opinion, Mr. McLaughlin. However, almost every HR case we've touched, we've had to spend significant dollars on attorneys. You can fight it all you want. I know you don't like Sturdick Dowd. But we did, at your request, we did reach out to Mr. Peterson, who is the free approach. And again, you have a copy of his email where he respectfully declined the task. Probably because of the fact that he has to represent us. Okay, let's move on. Any other old business? Okay, trustees, new business. I got something I'd like to bring up regarding the refinancing of our fire equipment. The vendor who did the financing on our attack pumper and tanker has submitted a proposal to us to refinance the note on $348,000 debt that we signed up for when we redid the chassis on the medics. Did all of you get copies to that? I've seen that.
I didn't look in detail. I did see it, but I have not looked at it in detail.
Well, we don't have, that's something that I wanted to call to your attention. The preliminary numbers look very attractive, and there seems to be a significant cost savings, probably due to the change in rates with the economic conditions. But I believe that's something that we should take a look at and have a more serious discussion in a future meeting, because it appears it can take quite a bit off our plate. Mr. Wolf, offhand, do you remember what the annual savings would be from that? Do you recall?
Should have chosen to go with a 7-year lease, no prepayment penalties, saved about $23,000 a year in cash flow. I don't have the other specifics with us, but anytime we can save that kind of money, it's something that we should look at as trustees.
Why didn't I get a copy of it?
I forwarded to the director of the fire committee. Obviously, he must have forwarded that to.
Excuse me?
I sent it to the fire committee, and I also shared it with Mr. McGuire, and he said he was going to bring it up this evening. So it happens just quickly.
Wait a minute, I don't understand your comment. Why didn't I get a copy?
Because I work for the trustees and I share with the trustees.
Well, so you don't work for Jefferson Township?
I do. Trustees asked me to go look at this. 2 of them asked me to go look at it.
Are you an employee of Jefferson Township?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But
And I asked for a copy of it. Why didn't I get a copy? Can the trustees answer that? I am the fiscal officer. I should be involved in this. I'm not signing any paperwork if I don't get a heads-up copy on this. And you guys keep me out of these things. This is fiscal matter.
Well, first of all, Ms. Edwards.
No, first of all, answer my question. Why did I not get a copy?
Well, first of all.
I don't need an excuse. Why did I not get a copy?
Order.
No order. Give me a copy of the stuff. No excuses. You know, you're always making up some lame excuses.
There's no lame excuse
It's a
on
lame
this.
excuse, Jim. I should have a copy.
Well, number one, Ms. Edwards,
What is the
there's no need
fire
for that
committee?
tone.
I don't care what you say. Why did I not get a
Host,
copy?
mute Ms. Edwards.
You can mute me all you want. I can unmute myself. It's a waste of your time.
Trustees, first of all, are either you interested in looking at refinancing fire equipment to save money? That's a pretty simple question. If you're not, then it doesn't matter whether or not Ms. Edwards has a copy
It came into
of
the
that.
township. I should have a copy. I am the clerk.
Well, you're not the decision maker
I don't
on
care.
any
I
note.
still have a copy. I'm the clerk. I should have a copy. It came into the township.
Well, right now, I'm just
Okay,
opening the
fine. Let me
discussion to
just go
see
to the
whether or not we
You can
even
stop.
want to look
I'm
at it.
done. I don't need an excuse from you. I'm done.
And why do we want our minutes posted?
What's your question, Mr. McLaughlin?
Because of the way we run this township, why don't we want our minutes from 2020 posted?
We do want them posted, but I want a set of minutes that's legit, it's correct, and an accurate reflection of what's happened in the meeting. So, as long as you,
You might say that, but that's not the truth of the matter.
well, we're governed by law to have a record of the meeting. And of course, you like to cut corners and have a watered down version of everything and do everything half-ass. So as long as my butt's on the line in a lawsuit with you, I want a full set of minutes that was not done by one of your friends at Zoom.
I have no
So-
friends. I have no friends at Zoom, and nobody else does it word for word in the state of Ohio.
Well,
Excuse me, Clay
Everybody
Township.
doesn't have
Excuse me,
our
Clay Township
problems,
does.
Mr.
I get right. Clay Township does half of them. That's right.
this is Jefferson Township. I don't really care what Clay Township's doing. So, back to the issue at hand. Trustees, are we interested in saving money on refinancing, or should we just blow this off?
So you wanna, just because I want a copy, you don't wanna give it to me, so you're gonna ask the trustees, are they interested?
Well, right now, I'm just
Because that's the citizens' money that you're making a decision on, and you don't wanna save money.
There's
That's
no
your job.
decision. There is no need for your tone on that, Tracy. I'm just asking, this is the introduction of this.
There's no need for you to keep on making excuses of why I can't have a copy of that. It came into the township, it should be in the township file. And there's no other discussion that needs to be made, whether you make a decision to keep it or not. Be in the file.
There's no need for you to be that upset.
Oh, I am upset because you keep doing this and making these and you're using my money as well as the citizens' money and wasting it. You're a bad decision maker, Jim. You're not a leader.
I'm glad you're entertained by that, Mr.
I'm glad you're
McLaughlin. I
glad
see
because you
smile.
need to be glad.
Okay, let's move on. Any other new business, trustees?
Let's
No,
let's say that, I think if we are saving $23,000 a year, that we should take a look at this.
and I agree. I agree with him. I agree with you, Rory. Yes, yeah, we do need.
Also, we need to get Ms. Edwards a copy here of this proposal so she can look at it also.
Well, basically what I wanted to do, opening the discussion on this, is see if the two of you are warm to the idea. And then we get it scheduled on the agenda with some folders, go through the numbers, do it right, everybody would be involved, but there was no reason to fly off the handle just because you weren't copied on the
I
initial
should be
email.
copied when you guys are copied. There's nothing to have to do with fly off the handle.
There's no
I
need
am the
for your
fiscal
tone on that,
officer.
Tracy. Absolutely not.
How you feel. You're not the board. There's two other trustees.
And at this point in time, this board can't even agree on what time it is,
No, you
Tracy.
can't agree. You're the only one.
Any other new business, trustees?
Trustee Mann, I agree with your comment. Yes, we need to proceed with this and see if we can't save the township money. And I agree with you that Mr. Edwards needs to be included in the email train and copied from the very beginning. I agree with you, and let's proceed on with this.
Okay.
Okay. While we're talking about the email train, I'm fully aware that there is email traffic that Mr. McLaughlin, Ms. Edwards are sending out and not including me. It's intentional. Care to explain to me why? So
Yeah, I
while
will
you're
explain
complaining
to you.
about that,
I'll explain it to you. You complain when we send email, and then you say, I don't want to be involved in this, so we don't send it to you, because you said, I don't want to be involved in it.
That's
So
a poor
I don't
excuse.
send it to you. So don't even try to make excuses on why you don't send it to you. I'm not sending you something where you just gonna come
No,
back
that's
and make a comment.
intentional and
End of
deliberate act.
discussion.
Any other new business, trustees? Okay, moving on to resolutions. What resolution are we on? Ms. Edwards, do you have our next resolution number?
And thank you for calling my name. When you address me, please call my name. It's Resolution 21-008.
Okay, trustees, resolution number 21-008. The Jefferson Township Board of Trustees accept the resignation of 2 part-time firefighter/EMTs from Jefferson Township Fire Department. This involves employees Samantha Dewey and Nicholas Whitlock.
Did you make a motion, Jim, or you just read?
No, I was just reading it into the record to see if there's any interest in bringing this to the table.
I make a motion that we consider this resolution 21 we adopt this resolution 21-008.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Mr. President, if I can make a comment on it, please.
Go ahead.
Both of these employees have been with us for some time. They have employment opportunities elsewhere, and so they're leaving for that purpose, and we thank them for their past service to the citizens.
Thank you. Anything else? Any questions on this resolution 21-008? Roll call, please. Ms. Edwards, roll call, please.
Trustee McGuire.
Yes.
That's a yes. Trustee Mann.
Yes.
That's a yes. Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes, thank you.
That's a yes.
Okay, motion passes 3-0. Next on the agenda, we've got resolution number 21-009, resolution authorizing the purchase of a new employee handbook from Sturdick Dowd & Turner, LPA, not to exceed $6,000. I move to adopt resolution number 21-009.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Mr. Mann, second the motion. Questions?
May I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
Is this employee handbook is for who? All the employees?
This is our basic employee handbook that's going to have attendance, it has holidays, it has the discipline policy, it has computer use policies.
Okay, so why is 70% of it charged to the fire department? Why isn't it charged 3 ways, divided by 3?
Because the bulk of our staffing is through fire. That is where most of our human resources issues reside. So we have, 40, 50 employees right now? So that's why I set up that distribution accordingly.
Also, I hope you can, explain that to the auditors when they ask about that. It
That's
makes
not a
sense and
problem.
logical, because they will ask on that question, they will ask that question. Reasonable, it has to be reasonable. And so you asked me how many employees, you have to determine all that as well.
Any other discussion on resolution 21-009? Roll call, please. Ms. Edwards, roll call.
Trustee Mann?
Yes.
That's a yes. Trustee McGuire?
Yes.
That's a yes. Trustee McLaughlin?
Abstain.
That's abstain.
Okay, motion passes 2-0. Okay, next on our agenda, we have departmental reports. Looking at guest list on our meeting, by the way, Kevin Niles has joined the meeting for the record. Captain Flagg, you have the floor. Sheriff's report.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We got a few annual stats I'm going to cover here for 2020. Overall, our crime rate went down 24% over 2019. Our Part 1 violent crimes went down 29%. Our Part 1 property crimes were down 24%. Our Part 2 violent crimes were up 6%, and that was driven mostly by an increase in simple assaults and intimidation charges. Our Part 2 property crimes are down 22%. Crimes against society were down 46%, and all other categories were down 2%. So all in all, we were down fairly well over 2019 numbers, with the exception of that 6% increase in Part 2 violent crimes. As with the monthly reports, everything trended the same. Our most active areas were along US 35, the West 3rd Street corridor, and along State Route 4 corridor between Dayton, Liberty, and Frytown. We're going to send 3 deputies from the District 7 Jefferson Township substation to the funeral service tomorrow of the ODNR officer Jason Legore, who passed away over the weekend. He was responding to a call referenced juveniles falling through the ice at Rocky Fork State Park. He has done some support work for us here in the township over the years, and most recently last summer. So we're going to send 3 officers down to attend that service. I'm going to prepare a resolution to have submitted by next meeting for the purchase of that 3rd patrol car. We've got some numbers coming back in. We think we can do it for an amount not to exceed $50,000. We're currently budgeted at about $45,000. So, and we'll probably come in under that 50, but just kind of depends on locating the car. With the COVID, the cars are proving to be a little bit of a challenge to latch onto, regardless of the make or model. But I'll get that to you all to approve, vote on, and we'll go from there. As you all are aware, community concerns over the last couple weeks have focused primarily on the appearance of the township and the neighborhoods and such. We had been working with the Family Dollar on their exterior issue, their trash can issues. We were dealing with the local and regional managers on that. That store has changed hands for both positions, and we're no longer getting the cooperation that we once were. So we reached out to code enforcement. They initiated violation for the conditions of that property and sent out to them for us. Our environmental crimes has compiled a list of locations of issues that we were dealing with, dumping complaints throughout the township. We extracted from that list approximately 30 locations that were identified that either have accompanying zoning and code enforcement issues or strictly zoning and code enforcement issues. I attempted to email that to everyone, but the file's too large, so I will get that into the hands of the township tomorrow to take a look at. We're just asking for some assistance, to review those addresses, pictures, and, if those departments feel that there are violations, to work with us in getting them remediated. We received the complaint reference to semi-parking on Dayton Liberty. A couple crews went out yesterday. That truck was gone at that time. It is back there this evening. Looks like it comes back to a company, so we knocked on some doors in the area, talked to some of the residents and obtained some information. Sounds like that individual that drives that is dropped off by a vehicle, picked up by a vehicle, so we'll be looking for him tomorrow morning upon his return, based on the information we've been provided, and we'll follow through with that. We've continued to address concerns in the Birdland, Big Bend Plat areas, and we are still encouraging residents to call NCSO if they see issues that they feel need to be addressed. I've tried to explain in a couple forums over the last couple weeks that those calls are extremely useful to us if we receive them while the issue is happening. When we get into days after the fact, weeks, months, there's statutes of limitations on crimes. There's rules that we have to follow in investigating some of this stuff. And, I'm trying to coordinate a situation where we can get there and assess situations and make the best possible decision moving from that point forward. Some of this stuff we simply need to have a complainant that has legal authority to work with us. I attended a meeting last week to discuss how to staff the litter collection crews for the upcoming year. I think we're closing in on a solution for that. We got some things now we've kicked down the line that are being run through probation, being run through the courts, local courts, to see if we can get everybody supporting that. And then if that's the case, I hope to get the litter collection program moving again here in the coming weeks and start addressing places in the township and throughout the county. Cars parked on the streets with expired license plates. I'm getting a lot of complaints about